Hello, everyone, and welcome to the brand spanking new first episode, debut edition of the RCHS, Richmond Community High School, morning show. I would like to thank everyone here for joining us on this fine evening, on this special occasion. Now, I am your host, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, himself in the flesh, Mr. Sir Dr. Bobby Alves. Now, without any further ado, let's get right into the show. Oh, I didn't see you there. I'm very sorry. Our very first guest today on this very special first edition of the RCHS morning show is none other than Miss Dizzle herself, Lil Dice herself, Miss Dice, ladies and gentlemen. Crowd is just going wild. They're eating her up. So, Miss Dice, how are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing magnificent. Yes, it is our debut episode. It's a very special occasion for us, all us here at the RCHS Morning Show crew. Now, Miss Dice, let's get to the nitty and the gritty, Miss Dice. So our first question is a controversy that has been plaguing the school. The freshmen especially, they cannot get over this, the answer to this question. They've been discussing it at lunch. They've taken over lunch. They've taken over bus rides. They can't get over this. It is a very, very problematic question for teachers and students alike. We have the 10th grade chemistry teacher here, Miss Dizzy Dice herself, to answer this question. Miss Dice, is water wet?
All right, this is a great question. And I understand why so many people have been asking it, right? Because it seems like water itself, it can't be wet because it is water, right? However, when you look down at the molecules, when you zoom into what is actually happening, and you look at the definition of water, which is, not water, when you look at the definition of wet, which means when something is covered with some sort of liquid, such as water, H2O, okay? And you look at what's happening with the molecules of H2O, they love to stick together, right? You guys have all heard all the properties, cohesion, adhesion, capillary action, right? All those special properties that water has.
Yes.
So it loves to stick together. So when something gets wet, it gets a covering of water molecules, right?
Right.
So if I am one little water molecule, I just realized, yep, okay. If I'm a little water molecule, right, and there are other water molecules surrounding me, right, by the definition that says that it's something covered in other water molecules, well then I myself am wet. So the only way that water couldn't be wet is if you took this one little solitary molecule and it all by itself.
Heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Dice answered the question herself. Water is wet. Now, next question. Another question that has been plaguing the school, just terrorizing students and staff and everyone alike. Question that has been asked by many philosophers, by many great men and women throughout the ages, throughout human, mankind, all that stuff. Miss Dice, in the current age that we're in, the current scientific age of all we know, is the Earth flat?
Okay, well, so on this one, I have science and evidence to back me up, okay? So the Earth is certainly round, okay? I wouldn't say that it's perfectly spherical, but it is roundish, right? It's got a little bit thicker in the middle. But we have pictures from way out in space. We have these men called, and women, men and women, called astronauts who get in this tiny little rocket and they fly up into space, right? And then they take pictures while they're up there. We also have these little rovers, the Mars rover out there singing happy birthday to itself, right? Taking pictures of things. We've got all sorts of pictures from way out in space that say, yes, Earth is round.
Well, you see, we never said anything about Mars. Mars is proven to be round. There is no such flat Mars society, but there is, however, a flat Earth Society, and the Flat Earth Society has been proven and backed up by people from all the ages of when human have been in existence. People have believed this for ages, and it is true because the earth is flat. If you take this tile, this is the earth, right? It's round. You walk on the earth, right? Oh, you're at the end. What do? You just climb over.
And so where's the
You
evidence?
don't fall off. That's the.
Where's the evidence for that? You said it's been backed up, there's lots of science, there's lots of proof, right? So when this flip occurs, right, you think that you would feel some sort of something, right? So have there been accounts of people who are just walking and all of a sudden they like flip into the other side of the earth?
Yes. Well, you see the trajectory and the magnesium of the situation causes them to. Oh no! I'm sorry. Excuse me. There's a trampoline that they use to jump, and it's like a special. It's like a tube, like you know how they have at the playgrounds, where it's like they go whoosh to the other side. That's what it is.
Right. So there's basically these entrances to the other side of the earth that. So
But only
what,
true believers can access.
Well, what about airplanes of people who fly from one place to another? When you're in the air, you can't really use the.
Well, see, that's the thing. Pilots, they are believers, but the passengers, they aren't necessarily. So what happens is once they land, the government comes on. You see Men in Black, they do the little thing. So they make people, because the government, they don't want us to know their secrets. They don't want us to know their secrets.
And they're keeping it a secret that the world is flat.
Well, I mean, honestly, the world doesn't exist. There's no such thing as Earth. There's no such thing as humans. There's no such thing as anything. The world is all a lie. This is all a simulation set up by the U.S. government because the government is evil. Remember that, kids. The government is evil.
I see.
What do you think?
I mean, I could agree with some of that. I mean, there you have a philosophy question, right?
Yes.
Does this exist? Is this real? Am I actually here? Are you actually here? Are we actually having this conversation? And even if we are, does it even matter?
I have the perfect answer.
Yes.
Many great people, great philosophers have been saying this throughout the ages. As a great man once said, no, nothing is real. Thank you very much for joining us on the very first edition of the RCHS morning show. We learned a lot of things today. We learned that the earth is not real. Nothing is real. All life is lies. Life is pitiful and awful. And we learned that water is indeed wet in this fake world. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you all have a fantastic day today. Let's pretend to talk.